All right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Good. It feels like a Monday, though, doesn't it?
Really strange. And I missed you last week, so I'm not even sure what planet we're living on since you
I
haven't brought me
know.
back to reality.
Everything feels a little bit off.
It really does. Totally feels like Monday. Uh, that's not going to change until probably Thursday, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get to chat then too. But I just wanted to catch up with you today. I know we last week was a busy week, and with the holiday yesterday and all meant more to some than others, I guess. Some
hmm
people just felt they could snooze through it if they wanted to. I
Yeah,
don't know.
just sleep right on through.
Oh my God. I mean, is there anything more disrespectful than that guy around the military?
The dozing dawn. Oh my God, he's just.
And it's
I
not like he
mean,
hasn't prepped us. We saw this in meetings. I mean, it's nothing new.
it
Uh,
is not.
Here they'll be like, he's blinking. You caught him in a blink. I
The
don't know.
world's slowest blink.
I mean, even at the RNC, that was all about him. He just can't stay awake. But it seemed officially, most offensive yesterday, talking about the 13 people that we lost in this great war that we're, or not even war, whatever this is, the mission, 13
Excursion.
people. Uh, it's just offensive, and I don't understand how it's not offensive to more people. He can't help talking about himself, so he talked about the Johnnies and the Steves and the Jerrys and all the people there. Not many Donalds in this, graveyard.
Not too many. Jesus, who says things like that? I mean, it's insane.
It's pure insanity or dementia. Maybe it's something like that. Went on about
Well,
the Democrats. Like, you know how many Democrats probably went to war and died for this country as well? Maybe you don't
hmm
find them politically appealing to you, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be recognized as well.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone that died in World War II was an anti-fascist. Everyone that on the Allied side, on the American side.
Yeah, well, that's passe anymore.
We're off that.
I mean, it was a lot. You wonder why he's going to Walter Reed again today to get his dental and his checkup. I find it odd when they call it preventive healthcare, preventive maintenance, whatever you want to call it. Uh, we should all have that. That's
Oh, I
the
know.
goal of having healthcare, so you can stay on top of things and find out when you might have an issue. It's good for everybody.
Mhm. Oh, you know what? Only the wealthy at the top deserve that. The rest of us, we're just not worthy.
Sounds a little Canadian, frankly.
Sounds a little bit woke, okay?
uh, it's just crazy. And then we've been gaslit the whole time. His hand is clearly has bruising on it. KK Caroline says he's like Grand Central Station, shaking so many hands. If you recall the original Trump, he never liked touching anybody. He was not
hmm
a handshaker. That is not why. Now it pops up on the other hand. Um, what's going on? Are you taking a lot of intravenous drugs? Like, are you sick? Can you share a little bit? You're going to be 80. Let's talk.
Yeah. And you're not in good health. Your habits are not good. You don't eat well. You don't get very much exercise. You seem to have a lot of trouble staying awake throughout the day, but yet you're
Interest,
up all night.
Interesting you'd say that today because CNN, I don't know if it was inadvertent, but they had a doctor on there talking about that Trump has some kind of insomnia issue that's not allowing him to sleep, and that's why he's falling asleep during the day. Now, I think it sounded like a pretty good excuse as to why the leader of the free world might be napping at 1:30 in the afternoon. Um, but you brought up that it's a medical condition. That's a problem.
Well, we've seen it firsthand, and it's a possibility. We're not doctors. We're not, that close to the situation, but we've seen that people with dementia tend to be up at odd hours.
Oh my God, yes, yes, and unaware of it clearly. This was his fourth cognitive test. He's bragging about it. You generally don't take those unless you have a problem or
hmm
they think you have a problem. But again, his healthcare is gold plated. It's amazing, along with all these other congressional people. But We don't have that. I find it offensive when you talk about preventative care because that's all any of us are really asking to. Go get your annual physical. You have health care to cover that. If you need more, then, if they find other issues, fine. But like, I think we all deserve at least that and not necessarily just tied to your job. Oh, I don't have a job, so I guess I don't matter and I don't deserve health care.
Yeah, well, that is exactly what it seems to be. That seems to be the prevailing sentiment.
I did want to bring up too. Maybe you missed it. It happened really fast, but the assassination attempt at the White House. Anybody catch that?
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? It seems like every time the polls dip, there's another assassination attempt.
Yeah, and somebody else famous did that. Jim Jones. It was one of his tactics to make build up, his following to really like fight back because they're trying to hurt me, die for me.
Yeah, prove it.
I didn't really hear a whole lot other than the memes that came out of it of some of the press people that kind of looked shocked and befuddled as to like what's going on. Again, it was barely a blip. I mean, if you use it too much, it's maybe not as effective as you think.
You're like the boy that cried wolf.
Yeah, except 2/3 of the country doesn't care.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and the general consensus was nobody really cared. Nobody really raised an eyebrow. We've seen this before. It's nothing new. And it's not like it was somebody who was face to face with him in the same room pointing a gun at him.
No.
Shots fired outside the White. Shots fired in D.C. Well, there's always a lot of shots fired in D.C. and parts of that town. So yeah,
true.
It's like the guy on the golf course that had a gun. Was Trump even there that day?
He was on the back nine, I believe.
Yeah. So,
For the record, Obama, had 10 attempts on his life. You didn't hear about them. It's usually not something you want to advertise. You don't want copycats. Yeah. You don't want to give people ideas. You generally want to protect that guy. That this is happening every other week, it would seem, is just kind of silly and played out. It's not helping.
Not helping. It's desperate.
It seems very desperate. Yeah. So Trump just moves on. Yesterday was just another day ending in Y for him. It really wasn't a huge deal. And then he's on to, hey, let's do non-disclosure agreements for all federal workers. What do you say?
Why not?
It's not even legal. But like now you really want to hush people up because you have this problem, I guess, which is you, whether it's your illness, whether it's your lack of leadership, whether it's driving this country into the dumps, whatever you want to call it. He's a mess.
Well, and so are we. Thanks to that.
We really are. We really are. I mean, you could throw a dart and come up with just about anything. Ebola. We're not going to worry about it. Not only that, but he's restricting our leading scientists from any involvement in the Ebola response.
I mean, why would you do that? What the fuck? Just some of the stuff is so stupid and so counterproductive. It just makes no sense at all.
He's also barred infectious disease officials from even talking to the World Health Organization because we're not part of the WHO anymore. So keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty frightening if you think about it. It's very hard.
And to show the lack of seriousness, he's going to admit another 10,000 more white South Africans as emergency refugees from racial violence. If you recall, we talked about this months ago that he was going to bring in white people as his new immigrants because of the color of the skin, I would assume. A lot of them went home. It wasn't that great here. The economy seems a little soft. People were nicer to me. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm going home.
I mean, it's just crazy. So we can't even win with the people he's bringing in. And they're certainly not going to work at fast food places or to do anything that might help the average American to replace some of what you're now doing 100 undocumented at a time, whether they're criminals or not. We want them out just to get the numbers up. You can't have 100 defendants in front of a judge and think that you're doing the right thing and making sound choices.
Well, and while you're doing this, you're also harassing people that are actually citizens. There was a
Some of them.
TikTok of a guy who got pulled over. He was from Jersey. He's from Atlantic City. I'm from Atlantic City. Here's my license. That doesn't count. Anybody can get one of those. I mean, just the sheer, just the way they're bullying people and terrorizing them and, murdering some of them.
Well,
People that have
that's
done nothing wrong.
and that's serious, but we're basically unserious with everything else. I saw JFK or RFK Jr. today snake handling some black snakes he found. They were biting him, but he was like, they don't harm you. His wife's like begging him to stop playing with the snakes. It's like, this is our HIH guy. I mean, like, it's insane. He's leading us to be healthier, and you're playing with black snakes.
Yeah, and you're the guy that's in charge while there's an Ebola uh, pandemic threatening. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll all sleep easier tonight with that guy running the show.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that great about it, that's for sure. And then, they just keep turning the knife one way or another. It's the cruelty does seem to be the point. I'm going to
Mhm.
jump to data centers, speaking of cruelty, because it's like a new thing. We've been talking about this for weeks, and the amount of energy that you need for it, the amount of water. West Virginia is getting swamped. Um, they have this facility here. It's not good for anybody as far as your air pollution, your water quality, your energy use. There's no positives here. These things are massive, and they're springing up all over the country because now they've changed why we need these data centers. Doug Burgum was out, Interior Secretary Gent, talking about they're not data centers; they're manufacturing intelligence centers, and then framing it as like an arms race.
Mhm.
So we're building out. It's positive for humanity. It's positive for the U.S. So any of the negative that you're seeing is geo targeting propaganda. It's the Chinese. They don't want us to do this because we're going to have all this power and we're going to be so great. Um, some of these comments are coming from Kevin O'Leary, who's building the giant data center that's the twice the size of Manhattan in Utah, as they're
Yeah.
under drought.
Yeah. I was going to say it's going to suck Utah dry,
Yeah, the
and it's going to
people
use more power than the entire state of Utah uses now.
and the people are to the point of praying for rain. But we're going to knowingly give this away. Now, in fairness to the people of Utah, most people voted against this data center, but if the council approves it, it's a done deal, and usually money talks. So here we are. Um,
This is going to be bad.
yeah, and the reframing of it has me really concerned because now you're making it this national security thing when we really know you're just trying to make the most money for billionaires that you can.
Well,
There is
and steal and use as much of our data as possible.
And there's no plan B for like the underlings. If you're not in the top when all this falls out and reaping the benefits of all the cash, you don't have a place. These are taking jobs. These are not setting people up for success that aren't in the top 1/10 of 1%.
Yeah.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said trillions for AI data centers and power grids will have to come from American savings and pension funds. Americans need to think about growing along with the US. Yeah.
Where have we heard that before? I mean, let's take a quick trip back to 2008. How did that work out for the average American?
Terrible.
Not very well. The people at the top got bailed out.
They did.
And we've talked about this before, that AI is a giant bubble, and they keep pumping it up and pumping it up. And the bigger the bubble, the bigger the burst when
Yeah.
it inevitably comes around. And just the fact now that the military is getting involved in this,
Scary.
that should be a little bit frightening for everybody.
And the military using it, but not having the last word on some of these like strikes and such. It's passing through AI. They decide to blow up a Iranian, women's day school type of thing
Mm-hmm.
because they know better than us. It's leading to this whole new anti-tech violent extremism is how they're now labeling these people. So we got to protect from the anti-tech violent extremists. What in the world?
The way they frame things is just so offensive because, here's where the extremism comes in with these people. You're seeing extreme misogyny. You're seeing women dying because they can't get abortion care. They can't get the health care that they need. You're seeing that. You're seeing extreme racism when you're basically bringing back Jim Crow and stealing the black vote. Yet you don't hear any cries about that because, well, that's just politics and that's just how it works. And we
Not to
can't have.
interrupt you,
Mhm.
not to interrupt you, but the South Carolina Supreme Court said today they would not abide by the new lines drawn by the Republicans.
I did see that, and I thought it was very interesting. Maybe we will see some backlash, and we're actually seeing some senators standing up on Trump's billion-dollar trust fund, his slush fund for his little private militia, or at least the ones that haven't been thrown in jail for pedophilia, because
Well,
you've seen a
and
good bunch of those J6ers going down for that.
to circle back, the Senate did get the approval to limit Trump's war powers on Iran. Back in our day, which wasn't that long ago, it had to go through Congress to declare war. That's why they didn't declare war. I think we all know the background of that.
Mhm.
But moving forward, they had the votes in the Senate. It passed. It went to the House, and Mike Johnson, typical Mike Johnson cowardly form, closed the House. Hey guys, see you in June. We're out of here.
Yeah, run away.
Yeah.
Typical
Fear
Mike
mongering.
Johnson. Mike Johnson's
Yeah.
battle cry: "Run away."
It's just unbelievable.
It's very
So
unbelievable.
another couple days off for these guys. See you in another week. Enjoy the holiday. It's crazy. Then today, since Congress isn't in and they're not grilling anybody that probably needs it, the Vice President and Stephen Miller were out with the attorneys general. Vance made a big deal out of this. Most people think it's attorney generals, but they're not generals. I mean, this is the levity that they like to talk about. So you have all these people from each state there, and you'd think they would be talking about, fraud, but of course they are. But it's fraud that fraudsters are doing. Okay, nothing about the Trumps, nothing about people in the federal government that are raking in all this cash.
Yeah, the real fraudsters.
But Miller seemed to think that you could balance the budget if dollars that went out of the Treasury went to individuals who were properly, lawfully, and correctly eligible to receive them. And I just want to say, I've paid a ton of cash to the Treasury this year, and I don't see that money's going to any worthy cause. It doesn't seem to go to roads. It doesn't seem to go to infrastructure, which is part of roads. It doesn't seem to go into healthcare. It doesn't seem to go into education. It's not going into anything.
Yeah.
And they want to talk about fraud. There was no fraud involved. I was told what I had to pay through the IRS. I pay it. And then where does the money go? Where's this fraud that he's talking about? I just don't get it.
I think we all know where the fraud's coming from. It's coming from manipulating the markets with your, war hedging.
Every week.
It came from Rick Scott and his Medicare scam, multi-million-dollar Medicare scam that he got away with. I mean, and again, they always accuse the other side and everybody else of what they're doing. These guys are the fraudsters. I mean, it's ridiculous. They've done nothing but enrich themselves. Look at what the Trump family's net worth went up to.
Yeah.
In just a year.
Just him himself, for sure. So they came up with a new unit. It's the MFCUU. It's Making Fraud Completely Unprofitable Unit.
My God.
He's not going to remember that. They should have come up with something else. Making sure we got you. Making fraud, not a problem. But I don't think the big guy's going to catch on to the rest of that.
And they should just call it the FU unit because that's all it is for the rest of it. It's just a big FU.
Pretty much. They went on to give examples. The guy was talking about having to buy a drill. He went to I'm assuming a Home Depot, and he had to hit the button and wait 15 minutes for them to come unlock the padlock. Social trust has evaporated, and people take advantage of it. If you ever been to Home Depot, you're going to be waiting a little bit if you need help because it's generally a lot of contractors early in the morning. and
Hmm.
limited staff, because that makes more money for the owners of Home Depot and their stock.
Hmm.
This example is stupid. The social trust evaporating. Theft is theft. I don't even understand what his point was. Um, Comparing it to being the same as benefits programs. So now we're going to take this trip to Home Depot to buy a drill that's under lock and key, because you might walk out of it. It's a pretty big store. But now it comes down to the benefits programs. Like, you're robbing and thieving too. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it always annoyed me when they call programs like Social Security and
Benefits.
Medicare a benefit, because it's not. People pay into that.
Yeah.
People pay into that for most of their working lives. That is not an entitlement. It's not a benefit. That is
Social
something that
Security.
we pay for. And these people just don't get it.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, they're
And
not
let's not
counting on
forget,
Social Security.
and as far as Social Security is concerned, if you're making over $100,000, you're only taxed up to that first $100,000 for Social Security. After that, you could be making a million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. You're not paying a penny more into it
Well,
after
and
that first level.
yeah, and $174,500, you're capped. So hey, you're making millions. You're not really feeding into it. But again, these people aren't counting on Social Security as part of their retirement program.
Oh yeah.
They don't care. But there was a time when you could live off your pension and your Social Security, and you could be very happy. But now everything's got to be extreme wealth. I got to have everything and the best of everything, and more, 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 to the point where your planet blows up. I guess, I don't know.
Or your society collapses. Or
Maybe
both.
that seems closer to it.
That's
I
it.
do want to point out that Kevin Hastert was today, we're after Memorial Day, back to Grifton, I guess, because that's where it's at. This guy was out, and he is a pretty terrible person. Let me just put him up real quick. Kevin Hastert.
Oh,
He says affordability is all relative. Okay. First, he comes out and says
he's right.
gas prices are coming down, which they're not.
They're not.
Grocery, but there's a reason for that, because grocery stores, we're trying to keep them open. We don't want grocery stores closing because of these stupid rules about refrigerators. I'm sure end of last week, Trump was talking about the cutting all these EPA laws. We don't care about the environment. It's harming business, and these refrigerator things, this is just a distraction. I don't even know what he's talking about. Grocery stores were not going out of business because of refrigeration. It's just utter nonsense. But he continues on and says, hey, not only are people paying more for gas, but they're paying more for everything. So it's showing great optimism in the economy.
I don't even know how you make that get from point A to point B. Yes, people are paying more for everything. I don't think it's making anybody more optimistic. I think it's making people stressed out. I think it's making people angry. I think it's making them fearful. You're seeing people that are like trying to decide on whether they fulfill their prescriptions or skip buying food. People that are, maybe they're just filling a couple of bucks in their tank, just enough to get to work,
God
so they
forbid
can
you got
make
to
it,
take care of an aging parent,
yeah.
or a special needs child or something like that, because there's no help for that either.
No, but I will agree with him on one point. Yes, affordability is, it's all relative. Absolutely. Because when you're a billionaire, everything's pretty much affordable. You're not counting items in your grocery cart and, mentally adding it up before you get to the counter.
To
You're not
avoid the
worried about that.
embarrassment of having to put things back. Yeah,
You
been
know,
there.
you're not constantly checking your checking account to see exactly how much you have left at the end of the month, or as you're heading into, that period between paychecks. You're not even thinking about that. You're wondering, well, should I buy the new car? I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till the next model comes out with more great stuff in it. So yeah, it's all relative, but as a billionaire or a person of wealth, your relativity is way different than most of us.
Absolutely. I did want to point out that the consumer sentiment index goes back to 1952 out of the University of Michigan. We're at the lowest point ever for consumer optimism. So maybe Hassert's looking at some different numbers, or maybe he's just full of malarkey.
It looks like a guy full of malarkey, or maybe Irish whiskey. He looked positively out of his gourd in that picture.
At the same time, AARP reports that 3.3 million retired seniors were forced to unretire and rejoin the workforce. So Clearly, it's not going that well for some. I do want to point out that 27.7% of our national debt is strictly due to one person, Sleepy Pops. It's Trump. He's number one, baby, of all presidents at this.
Well, hey, good to be number one at something.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Well, and again, I'm just going to say, the rising gas prices, everything is pretty much, you can lay it at the feet of one person who's done this with the backing of the GOP, but it's one person who decided to start a war because he doesn't even remember why, and he's got no idea how to wrap it up.
Epstein files, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have economists coming out and saying that gas will not get back to $3 a gallon until probably 2032. That's when you can get barrels of gas back down to $70 a barrel. Wow. I also wanted to point out that college grads have the worst entry level job market since the pandemic. Unemployment for them, which was in 2020, unemployment for them is at 42.5%. You're not taking care of the people that are supposed to be next generation. They're supposed to be filling in. They're supposed to be moving this country forward. You're just counting on an 80-year-old demented guy and all his cronies who have done nothing but rob and steal from us nonstop. And some people are okay with that. Oh, but don't worry, $100 million on a cage fight at the White House, brother.
Whoa, be there. It's going to be great.
Only 5,000 of you, a lot of special guests. It was supposed to be everybody. I was going to invite the whole country, but now it's 5,000, and I'm sure there's going to be a fee to that because nothing's free, buddy.
Nope, not in this, not in this regime. There ain't nothing free.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And I know we missed last week, so I just had a couple things that I just wanted to add on the Epstein files, because this is why we're here. Nothing new there. But Howard Lutnick, as we know, was a big part of this. He was the neighbor. He's got a a profile in the dental room of the New Mexico torture chamber, removing teeth of children, etc. But he donated $5 million to the GOP House Republicans on April 1st of this year. That was after he agreed to an interview with the lawmakers about Epstein, and this was before he testified. So here's your $5 million, GOP Republicans. And it seemed to work pretty well, right? I mean, some people left that meeting with him horrified. All of them knew he was a liar. But here he is, protected by the right-wing party. They think it's okay. It isn't. None of this is okay.
It's not okay. But I guess 5 million buys you a lot of not okay.
And then the leader of the Department of Justice, when Trump went out to talk about the construction of the ballroom that we all need and we need to pay for, Blanche, who was supposed to be getting grilled by Congress, just says things like, I don't even know what a client list is. Really?
Oh my God, what a fucking clown.
No idea. And that was on the Katie Miller show, which apparently is falling on hard times. I think CBS will probably have to pump some money into it just because lack of interest. But we keep talking about this $18 trillion that's coming in. Go ahead.
Well, I saw that Barry Weiss at CBS is falling out of favor with her superiors.
Numbers don't lie. She's not very well liked. And the fact of the matter is that she has one agenda, and that's not necessarily news.
It is not. It is far from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, her Pittsburgh status is revoked.
Yeah, she's out. I did want to point out that we do have a new Fed chairman. I don't know that it's the biggest deal in the world, but he does obviously come as the choice of Trump. It's Kevin Walsh. Just talks about the stock market being up. He's the crypto guy. So I know it's been kind of quiet on crypto as it was cratering, etc. But he's the guy. So I'm sure things will be really great under him. It'll be very pro-Trump. And they can go back to bragging about lifting 5 million people off of food stamps. Now they lifted them off and sent them on their way.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not lifting them off. You're kicking them off. You're stepping on their fingers as they're just barely hanging onto the ledge. That's what you're doing, but you want to take credit for it. And it's just sick. It really is. These people are so fucking cruel and greedy.
So, and Gabbard has resigned effective June 30th, just to throw that in. She's still at meetings, so she's still sitting in and probably keeping as quiet as Trump wants her to. They use the excuse of her sick husband. But this is the fourth woman from this regime that's been cast out. Bondi, it hasn't changed. She's still dug in and hates everybody and is loyal to Trump, which is really odd. But why not? The Department of Justice is in the hands of his personal attorney anyway. So
yeah, what could go wrong there?
Yeah, nothing for her, that's for sure. I did think it was funny that Donnie Jr. did get married over the weekend and that Trump said he couldn't make it. Very busy. He
Can't go there under fear of arrest. And maybe that's why Donnie Jr. had his wedding there.
Yes, he's in the Bahamas, and he would have been arrested had he gone. He did say that he had some big government thing and the war's going on, super busy. He did have plans to go to his New Jersey golf course, but once the press got wind of that, he had to cancel that, stay in the White House. What I thought was funny was that Ivana did go, with her husband, who's a bit of a scumbag himself, posted a ton of pictures. Not one picture was of the bride and groom. Donnie Jr.'s daughter made it, Kai. Talked about what a great, some kind of whatever sport they played together there. Jared was there. A bunch of photos of everybody except the bride and groom. And that just shows you the narcissistness of this family. Like, you go to your wedding of your brother, you literally didn't post one picture of him and his wife.
And they've got a wedding photographer. He'll take care of it.
Yeah. And nobody needs to see it from me.
I'm going to get some more selfies of myself.
Yeah. And I will point out that the new father-in-law was an investor with into the Epstein, Wexner? What's his first name? I'm spacing on this.
Is it Lex Wexner?
Yeah, Lex. He was the guy that initially funded Jeffrey and got him to where he had enough money to do what he does for whoever he's doing it for. But the father-in-law was also a big investor in Wexner. So it's like they just keep it in the family. It's really disturbing.
Well, and all roads seem to lead to Epstein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody made the comment today that it could bring the monarchy down if all of this came out. I mean, there is a lot there. Our government and the powers that be obviously don't want to advertise this. It will be destructive. But, we're at the point now where it seems, and this is obviously my opinion, but we're just sleepwalking through this shit, waiting for the next thing. You're not going to get ahead. You can't keep up. And they're just waiting for you just to drop on the spot. It was like that movie where the prize was, I think, $1 million, and you had to keep walking. You had to keep walking at a certain speed, and if you didn't, they put you down right there. And,
the long walk.
The long walk, and I kind of feel like we're doing the long walk. You start to lose enthusiasm. You start to lose hope. You don't see any progress. You don't feel like you're, part of the solution because you're not allowed to be, and you just kind of go by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, you're living in an elevated state of anxiety day after day after day. You wake up every day, and it's the same thing. Am I going to have enough money? Am I going to run out of money this month? Am I going to be able to pay for whatever comes up, whether it's, a medical issue with one of the kids or
my wipers? What? Who saw that coming?
Not this guy. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure.
Just saying shit like that. Granny K, her breaks wasn't something that she thought she was going to need to do that month, but they got you chasing the whole time. It's a lot.
And meanwhile, you're paying more for gas, you're paying more for groceries, you're paying more for your utilities. I mean, the cost of living is skyrocketing, but don't you worry, we're confident.
And it may seem like old man shaking his fist at cloud. I'm of Gen X. I get it. Maybe that's an older generation. But I just read you the statistics on how opportunistic it is for the next generation coming out. These kids coming out of college. There is no entry level work for them.
No, you're shutting the
Or
door on them, and it's pathetic. And you're draining them because the ones that went to college are, most of them are coming out with huge debt. You're just sucking the life out of them, and it's ridiculous. It's not fair. And you can say what you want about the Biden administration, but they did try to provide some relief.
they did.
Let these people start their lives.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that the universities and colleges are for-profit institutions now and making money off of them, but then they're getting nothing in return except a lifetime of debt.
And again, we're chasing all this money, and I feel like the NIL. Here we go again. Universities, major universities that care about their football programs, are cutting all kinds of other programs. Oh, you like men's and women's tennis? You got a scholarship on it? Try it someplace else. Clemson don't roll like that. Okay, we don't care about tennis. And then all these fees, because they have to make up the money somewhere, are going into the students who are paying more. Maybe under the athletic, fee or whatever, but they're finding money, and it's generally coming from incoming students.
Yeah. I heard two people at where I work talking about, I happened to be passing by and heard them talking about college. One said, pay 90 grand this year. And the other, I forget what university it was. And the other gentleman said, well, I heard from somebody on the inside next year, it's going to be 100 grand.
Wow.
For
It's
a
crazy.
year of college.
Well, I guess people won't be going to college because it's not affordable. And then when you come out, you have, 42% unemployment. So I don't know how that's helpful. And they don't stop asking for payments on your loans.
Yeah. There's no stopping that. And it's not fair. It's cruel. And it's not good for the country. I mean,
It's terrible.
yeah. And, we're seeing this now. It used to be that every generation did better than their parents. And now we're just rapidly backsliding. Thanks, boomers.
Yeah, this one will not be doing that. And again, I just feel like it all comes down to money. We've kind of immortalized this guy because he was claimed he was a billionaire when he wasn't. Talked a good game, even though he was a racist piece of shit off camera, a stinky bastard here, there, and everywhere. But we've put him on this pedestal as if he's so amazing based on money, and it is. It's not good for the country. It's not good for anybody's self-worth that isn't in that club, which is most of us, the majority of us. Come on, let's be honest.
And I think a lot of people that thought they were in that club are finding out, not really.
Not even close. Especially as bills start coming in at this point, with everything being more expensive. It's just, it's kind of brutal. So, we come here, we list a lot of things that are current that I think are important, whether it's environment, whether it's healthcare, whether it's government policy. But at the end of the day, like, we all have to get on the same page that this is killing us all. Now that we're calling them, leftics, extremists, anti-energy, whatever you want to fill in the blank, it's us, it's not them.
Well, yeah, and they're drafting dangerous legislation to target, every one of us for whatever, whether you've got a complaint about, the misogyny, or you've got a complaint about how capitalism is damaging things, or you've got a complaint about toxic Christianity that shows no empathy or any actual Christ-like values, then all of a sudden you're a domestic terrorist, and that's horrifying.
Yeah, agreed. And then this slush fund of 1.8 billion is to pay his SS, so to speak. These are his people that'll come out and protect the White House.
Mm-hmm. And the GOP has always been big on talking about, backing the blue and law and orders, but these people attacked police officers.
They sure did.
Viciously attacked them.
Yeah, and on that point and progressiveness and whatever, I'm going to put this up, and hopefully it's a fond memory for you. But it's going back and talking to the about the ancient Romans. These are engineered so much precision in their aqueducts that they still produce clean water to this day. It's been 2,000 years. And we did a little biking through some of this, if you recall, Billy.
Yep.
I mean, as you said, we talk about the Iranians like they're third world people, but they were using sanitation before anybody, right? Like,
I know, when the British were shitting at a chamber pot and throwing it out in the street. Even early 1900s New York, before the automobile was accepted. I mean, you had cholera epidemics because there was so much horse shit in the streets. I mean, yeah, and you want to knock these ancient civilizations, but they figured out how to get things done, things that lasted.
And to your last point, blasting. I mean, look at this stuff. It was. I mean, we were there. Sure, there's parts that are missing, but it's incredible. And think about the
Hmm.
tools and such that they had at the time. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It took brain power. It took uh, people working together, and it took the want to know that, hey, we need this. We can do this, as opposed to probably not going to happen unless a
Not going
billionaire
to
does
happen, but you know what? I'll get my own private water source, and I'll be fine.
it. It's so true. So anyway, I felt like it can be done. It has been done. It's been done for thousands of years. Like let's get our focus back onto something that might prioritize us and our betterment than just making great reels and a great shot on Instagram and making certain people richer. I think we
And
can move
AI
on from that.
slop. Yeah, the whole point of government is to make things better for people and make things better for the country as a whole.
Let's do it, man. I'm all in.
Hmm.
You got my vote, Billy.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm going to put this up. I know you got to go, but this was one of my happy endings. I know you're going to need a minute to talk about this. Um, it looks like Geno's back, which is awesome.
Very happy to see that.
Me too.
Yeah, I think he deserved to have a chance to go out with, one last year. I think it's going to make Sid happy, and he's still a productive player. I mean, he's not the player that he was, but he's still a veteran guy. He can, he willingly took the change of position to a wing. He's a team guy. He wants to win. And again, he's still a point a game player.
Yeah, he had a really good season. They did put some incentives. So to be fair to the club, which I give Malkin credit for, he's got to play a certain number of games. You get $500,000. They make the playoffs. He gets $500,000. I think the bonus is Chinnikov will probably sign with them. He had great chemistry with Geno. Geno going to the wing just shows what kind of teammate he is. And this will be his 21st season in Pittsburgh, which is just incredible.
Yeah, unheard of these days.
It really is. And Letang's going to be back. He's got 2 years, and Sid ain't going anywhere. I mean, he's tearing it up at the Worlds right now just because he's Sid and he's a gem. So great news about Geno, and I think they can kind of get that distraction off the table. I give Dubas a lot of credit for that as well.
Yeah, I was glad to see that. That's the right move.
Me too. And it didn't hang around. It wasn't, we're not building up animosity. Get it done, move on, and let's make the team better. But
yeah,
time will tell. Anyway, I know you have to go. Do you have a happy ending on top of that happy ending? Because I think it was shared.
I don't know. That's a tough one to beat.
I would agree. I'm with you on that one. So, again, I appreciate your time today. Sorry that it was so late, but
Yeah, no worries. We made it work.
yeah.
So good job.
You as well. And again, I appreciate you making it work, and hopefully we'll be back on Thursday. All right, buddy. You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Don't forget, it's Tuesday.
That's right. It's Tuesday.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.